UFC 314, April 12th in Miami, Florida.
The MMA world criticizes Dana White's UFC 313 decision. Alex Pereira seems to have a no-lose strategy against Magomed Ankalaev. However, instead of training, he's been seen handing out Rolex watches in New York City.
Free Rolex.
Summer. Thank you. I appreciate it.
In another corner of the UFC universe, Alexander Volkanovski has named Ilia Topuria as the biggest threat to Islam Makhachev, though many disagree. With just under 10 days until UFC 313, Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev are in the final stages of preparation for their highly anticipated fight. Both fighters are likely fine-tuning their strategies and conditioning for an exciting matchup. However, Pereira seems to have developed a clever no-lose strategy to control the narrative regardless of the fight's outcome. Magomed Ankalaev and his team arrived in Las Vegas in early February to adjust to the environment and fully focus on the fight. It's clear that Ankalaev is fully committed and prepared for this title bout. Everything seems on track for him. On the other hand, Pereira's preparation has raised eyebrows. For starters, the fight was only officially announced at the end of January, giving Pereira just 7 weeks to prepare, hardly enough time, especially when facing someone like Ankalaev, who is likely to lean on his wrestling. We've seen Pereira struggle with wrestlers before, as Jan Blachowicz gave him trouble, and even non-wrestlers like Israel Adesanya have exposed some of his weaknesses. If Pereira spends 25 minutes on his back against Ankalaev, it could spell disaster. Sure, fans might not love a wrestling-heavy win for Ankalaev, but at the end of the day, what matters most is whose hand gets raised. Right now, it seems Pereira may be more focused on enjoying life than training. He's been spotted handing out Rolex watches on the streets of New York, raising questions about whether he's taking the fight seriously. But here's the thing: if Pereira loses, critics will claim he wasn't prepared enough, so it's no surprise he lost to Ankalaev. On the other hand, if Pereira wins, people will say he wasn't even fully prepared yet still managed to defeat Ankalaev. Either way, it's a smart move by Pereira to control the narrative no matter the result. Could Ankalaev be the one to bring Pereira back down to reality and remind him to focus on the gym? We'll find out soon. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below.
Pra agradar a galera, os fãs, todo mundo que acompanha aí nosso trabalho, né? Pô, a gente tem que fazer alguma coisa, deixar as pessoas mais felizes. Isso aqui eu tenho certeza que vai deixar. Se alguém chega com um presente assim pra mim, porra, velho, não fica como? Boludo.
Sai, boludo. Oh, thank you. Thank you, bro. For you or for her? For her. That's it. That's the right answer. Open that and enjoy.
Babe, I just fucking walked all the way over here for you.
Yeah, that's why I give to you. I know you just ran over here. I didn't fucking know.
Brother.
You got a historic photo, us three.
Hell yeah.
Next 10 seconds, I want to see all this, bro, like a bro. Ten seconds, go, bro, get it, don't stop. Nice, get it, nice. Put on the foot. Nice, chama.
No, they're not.
You boxing? Chama or no chama?
Chama, my brother.
Chama?
Yeah.
Grappling? Chama.
Chama, yeah.
When Ilia Topuria announced his move to lightweight, many expected a showdown between him and Makhachev at International Fight Week. However, the UFC has yet to announce the fight, and now it's becoming clear why Jack Della Maddalena could be the key to Islam's future plans. If Maddalena defeats Muhammad at UFC 315 on May 10th, the welterweight title picture could open up for Makhachev.
Right now, what is even happening at lightweight? You know, there's Islam, because Islam, we know Islam wants to move up. Then you've got the Bilal situation. You know what? Jack Della wins that fight. Islam's moving up. Let's be real. Islam's moving up straight away.
Since Ilya's moving up, what do you think he should be his first fight?
I think he should fight Islam Makhachev. I think when you knock out two guys like that, two first ballot Hall of Famers, 100% they deserve it. They had mentioned Arman Saruka, they denied it. Arman is nitty gritty, man. They want to take the chances of fighting Islam Makhachev and trying to defeat him. And I tell you what, man, if Islam cannot take Ilya down, or if he doesn't take him down early, dude, it could be very problematic for a guy like Islam Makhachev, because Ilia Topuria, he level changes his striking. He goes high, he goes low. Islam Makhachev has that quote at the UFC, PI, anybody, anytime, anywhere. It's just up to the UFC to say, all right, man, this is a day.
Meanwhile, Volkanovski sees Topuria as the biggest threat to knocking out Makhachev. However, many disagree with him. In his interview with Ariel Helwani, Volkanovski said,
"The thing is with Ilya, he's a dangerous fighter and he can catch anyone. You know, if he goes there and he's stoic and he's, you know, even if the fight's not going his way, he will not eventually get it, but he's going to keep trying to find it. You know, them later rounds are going to get harder for him, but, you know, if he was to land, he could definitely knock him out. I think that's going to be hard to do. I think, Islam's a pretty safe fighter. I think the scrambling stuff, even if Ilya's takedown defense is solid, I still think them exchanges are going to be better off for Islam. But you mean you can't count Ilya's power out, you know, them hands. You know, he's going to be, you know, looking for that shot. Them early rounds, he's going to be very dangerous.
So what do you think about Volkanovski's statement? Write your thoughts in the comments and let's move on.
The MMA world isn't happy with Dana White's decision at UFC 313.
This is when all the good shit goes down, when I'm at the Ultimate Fighter. Some of you already know, but the new co-main event for March 8th, UFC 313 here in Las Vegas, is going to be Gaethje versus Fiziev. Gaethje, I don't know how much I got to sell Gaethje to you. 13 performance bonuses in 13 fights. 20 of his 25 wins are by knockout. And Fiziev, in his last fight, was cut short due to an unfortunate knee injury. But prior to that, Fiziev had 6 straight performance.
Many fans immediately reacted to Dana White's statement, and the user XKingUFC commented under the video, "Nobody cares to see FF Dana come on." David Asher wrote, "How about Justin versus Silva and FE can murder Bryce?" Another fan named Lucas added, "Weak fight. Is a co-main event 313 is mid as hell now. Guess Pereira will have to save another event." But another fan questioned, why are people hating on FE? He's like Gaethje 2.0, but slightly worse because he lost to him. I agree with that last point. Why are people so against this fight? I think it's going to be a great matchup. Both fighters are in a must-win situation, and they'll definitely bring everything they've got to secure the victory. This decision raised questions as contenders like Sirkin and Max Holloway were available. According to Justin G., multiple fighters, including Oliveira, Moano, Poor, Holloway, and Sirkin, turned down the fight on short notice.
Fiziev, I never heard Gamrot. I think, you know, the UFC trying to make a replacement for Dan Hooker, they never considered Gamrot. That's a very different fight, different night. But I think for me, off the top of the list was Oliveira and Sarukian, because those are the guys that are ranked ahead of me, the number 1, number 2 contenders, and they're the guys that if I get a win over them, you know, I get to go exactly where I want to go, and that's fight Makhachev. Moicano said he would fight, and then after that, you know, being that I'm getting ready for a fight, I have to say yes to anybody, you know, and this being me being the number 3 guy in the world, it's a big business, and I had to really rely on my coach and my manager to make that decision for me.
However, Zarian tells a different story. He claims he accepted the fight immediately, but requested a 160 pounds catch weight since it was just 11 days before weigh-ins. The UFC reportedly denied this option. Zarian also insists that his back issues are resolved after working with a specialist, and he's ready to return with his ultimate goal still being the UFC title. Eye pokes have long been a controversial issue in the UFC, often changing the course of fights more than head kicks or submissions. Steve Sonnen recently took to Instagram to call out this ongoing problem, sharing footage from Henry Cejudo's fight against Song Yadong.
If you want to solve eye pokes today, cover the glove. There is a glove that will cover the fingertips. If your finger goes straight, it's still a rounded glove. I fought for 22 years as a professional. 51 men, 5 days a week we sparred. Of all those rounds, of all that sparring, I never touched anybody's eye. But it is about my hand. Why does my hand not go into the eye? If you want something to go away, you punish it different. There's only 2 rules in the sport. Don't kick the son of a bitch when he's down, and don't poke him in the eye. If you do either, it's a disqualification, or quit talking about it and accept that it's part of the sport.
After the fight, Henry Cejudo called out referee Jason Herzog, blaming his loss at UFC Seattle on the eye poke.
Jason Herzog? Yo, what's up, Jason?
Sorry, man. Sorry, no problem.
1, you didn't take a point, and then 2, when I took the 5-minute break, and we ended up coming back to actually fight, like I still wasn't recovered, but that dude still came here, and you didn't do anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Luckily, I couldn't see, or at least I saw four arms. But you never warned him, or you never took away a point, dude. Like,
I'll give you my perspective in the moment, and then just so you hear it.
He pokes Henry Cejudo in the eye as Henry Cejudo is throwing a true to the body, and those things go in there like he was trying to impregnate Henry Cejudo with them eyes. If Henry's eyeballs were vagina and Song's fingers were a penis, Henry would be pregnant. Right?
On the other hand, Song Yadong responded to the criticism he's been getting standing by what happened during the match.
People are talking this a lot because, you know, they say this is bad. So UFC, they said the referee need take my points like that, you know. And I think that was bullshit, you know. Like IPOC happened every fight, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's you know why people focus this, because Henry out, you know.
Yeah.
They don't they can't. He don't fight. I don't want to continue fighting. That's why people are talking this.
Yeah.
You know, this just the normal like Apple. No, I'm not like often attack with my finger. I'm go back and the defense, and that was totally accident. You know.
Yeah.